It is a sultry Saturday night in central Indiana. San Diego Loyal makes their first ever visit to the Indy 11. These two teams are trying to compete with each other and Mother Nature at the same time. This kickoff has been moved up some 40 minutes. Keeping our fingers crossed we can beat the Storms projected for central Indiana this evening. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you here on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. That gentleman on your screen 7 nights ago, a goal that netted him a spot on the SportsCenter top 10. More importantly, Brad, for the Indy 11, helped deliver all 3 points on the road, their 4th road victory of the season. This one 2-0 in Hartford.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous strike. This got to be from 35 yards out. And, you know, one of the things with him, he's got such great vision. He's such a great playmaker that you expect him to keep that ball moving someplace, but he just got possessed on that strike.
And it netted him a spot on the team of the week as well. Cal Jennings, formerly of the Indy 11 of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, was the player of the week. But really, that just didn't change the outcome of the game, Brad. It changed the tenor of the game. Indy did not have a shot on goal until that moment in the 73rd.
Yeah, and then from that point on, you could see things started to open up, and a goal like that changes everything from a confidence-wise to an edge-wise.
For Yannick Erdl, it was a clean sheet, his 5th of the season. That one coming against his former team. For Douglas Martinez, who once had 4 goals in a game 4 years ago for Real Salt Lake and for the Real Monarchs, it was his first goal, rewarding him for the hard work he's been putting in as of late as well.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He set up a couple goals, but one of the things with goal scorers, once they break that seal and that ball winds up in the back of the net, expect them to come in bunches.
It is a San Diego Loyal team that is making their way here for a first time. Indy went out to Southern California about this time last year. It did not go well. The Loyal with a 5-goal victory. With that, let's get to our starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. And Brad, it is a 5 at the back lineup with the return of Robbie Dambrot. That's big news for Mark Lowry's team.
Yeah, it's great to have his pace and his energy in there, especially with the 5 back. You're not changing what you're doing. Your outside backs are still getting forward. Now you've just got a little bit more support behind it.
Couple of familiar faces at Nate Miller's 18 for San Diego Loyal, namely Nick Moon in his 2nd year in San Diego after 2 very successful years here with the Indy 11. And look for Elliot Collier off the bench. I believe it's been 5 years since we saw him play for the Indy 11 in 2018. Again, we have hit the fast forward button on this game. We hope to get all 90 in uninterrupted. Opening kickoff comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 soccer on My Indy TV.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Moments away from kickoff. Again, we thank you for joining us earlier than expected. Normally we kick at about 7:05. Tonight for a scheduled fireworks, we're going to kick at about 7:35. Mother Nature said, oh, no, you're starting at about 6:55 Eastern time. Those of you watching on the West Coast, just before 4 o'clock Pacific time. First time we've ever done this for the Indy 11, had to move a kickoff up, trying to get out of the way of weather. Obviously, some rough storms have come through here the last couple of days. More are in the forecast tonight. We hope we can bring you 90 minutes of uninterrupted soccer. We're on the watch of Matthew Corrigan, and here we go. San Diego and Indy, thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer. Camden Riley, the ball at his feet. Roberto Molina getting his face there to direct it an opposite way.
Unfazed.
Riley, a player we saw play for Sporting Kansas City 2. They first began playing against the Indy 11 a few years ago. Mark Lowry on the sidelines. This Indy 11 team has won just once here at Carroll Stadium so far this year. Going to go back to May 20th and the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs. A 1-0 victory. Only meeting for these two teams this year. Again, everybody in the East plays each other twice. Those in the East and Western Conference play each other once. And this is in the midst of 3 consecutive cross-country trips for San Diego Loyal.
That's incredible.
They lost at Pittsburgh last week. No shame in that, 2-1. They will then head to Hartford next weekend. They will not be at home again until July 30th.
The tough thing for them is, while they've been playing well and they pull a couple points on some draws, they haven't won a match since May 20th. And we went through a little stretch like that last year. You know what that does confidence-wise. You know what that does to a team's belief. So if Indy can get on them early, that's a good thing.
Just 3 points pulled from a possible 15 their last 5 matches for San Diego Loyal. Still in 6th place, though, in the Western Conference. Erdl under pressure. Erdl is in trouble, but finally does just enough to keep that away from Evan Conway. Whew. And for all of the skills we have seen Erdl show in terms of, being that sweeper keeper, handling with his feet, that's the first time he's kind of been put in a tough spot seemingly all year.
Well, if you play through your keeper a lot and he's comfortable with his feet, other teams start saying, okay, hey, look, if it's a ball that's, maybe it's the wrong pace or the wrong weight or to the wrong foot, press it, pinch it. And so you got to expect when a team plays like Indy does through Erdl, teams are going to come.
Aiden Quinn. He knows a thing or two about San Diego. Plays it across for Gwenzani. Couldn't get on the front foot. The San Diego Loyal team plays their home matches on the campus of the University of San Diego, where Aiden Quinn's dad, Brian, is the head coach of the USD Torero program. Quick look at our injury report brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Brian Rebillon and Jack Blake both out due to injury. Good news is Sebastian Velasquez is available for selection. He is in the 18 tonight. Other big news for the Indy 11 coming this week. We will not see him this evening, but last year's leading goal scorer Stefano Pino has returned to the Indy 11. We could see him as early as next weekend or the following match. Dees Pay says nothing there, and our referee and Matthew Corrigan agrees with him as Conway was trying to draw it. You see the early aggressive press here by San Diego, and I think Indy 11 appreciates that. They want to get up and get going if given the opportunity. Dees Pay with the win at the back to at least buy a little more time for the Indy 11 to get reset.
Oh, what a ball.
Flag stays down. Opportunity here. Side netting. Erdl able to shut it down. With that, let's get to our keys to the game. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf as well. Brad, what are you focusing on for these two teams tonight?
Well, for Indy, it's to get it wide quickly in the midfield. The San Diego plays with a tight block in the middle. If you can get it out wide, that block comes hard. And then if you can move that ball quickly, you've got the middle and the complete opposite side in which to attack. But you got to get it out there early. The other thing is you got to contain. San Diego is so good with quick interplay around the box. You can't be diving in and expecting somebody else to solve that problem. It gets you out of shape. For San Diego, they got to be dangerous on the flanks. Indy's been doing very well since they dropped to 5 in the back. But if you're dangerous outside, you can start to stretch and pull that 5 open and create some gaps. And then they have to attack overloads quickly. In those moments when they get a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2, they got to go.
Perez from distance. That does not give Erdl much of a problem. Adrian Perez getting his 14th match played of the season. He's a player that played 2 years of indoor soccer, which means he's cool by Brad Hoddard standards.
Yeah,
given his background a lifetime ago. Gwenzani handled that one. Perez also a player that has experience in Major League Soccer, having played with LAFC before coming to play with San Diego Loyal this season. Here's Adams.
You like different look from Indy as far as pressing high. They've dropped in a little bit, let San Diego have possession at the edge of their defensive third, and the back line is pulled up a little bit high. So hey, they're either allowing them to play that ball over the top and looking to clean it up on the backside, or they're just saying, look, you're not going to play through us. It's so compact and so compressed in there. There's not the lanes and the channels to play.
Well, there is the diamond press that Mark has wanted to play at the start of this season. And again, to his credit, I think he has realized that with this group, I'm not exactly sure that's the best way to play. So because of injuries, they've kind of been forced to play a certain style the last few matches. Still some injuries to deal with, but they've got kind of guys back in every position now. I think this is the way that Mark would kind of like to play the rest of the way with this group of 5 at the back. Advantage being played. Moshaban. Dees Pay got there and knocks it sideways, and now we'll come back and check on Joe Corona, who was the player that was injured back at midfield, and Robbie Dambrot will be shown a yellow card. As Corona, the former member of the U.S. men's national team, the San Diego product, and is back and playing with his hometown team, now will get checked on by Matthew Corrigan.
Well, you referenced that tactical change, that systemic change that Indy made. A lot of that's due to injuries, but as guys are rounding back into form, they're staying with it a little bit. And I applaud the decision, one, because sometimes you get stubborn as a coach and you say, this is how I want to play. And regardless of injuries or whether your players can handle it, you just keep spoon feeding it. And in this one here, you found success, 7 points in the last 4 games. Teams get a little bit of confidence with it. Stay with it until, it shows itself that you want to go back or you want to cement it for the rest of the year.
Robbie Dambrot getting his first start for the Indy 11 since getting injured against Sacramento Republic back on May 13th. All knocked away by Guenzati. Press being awfully effective here. Charlie Adams charging forward. He goes down. Referee says not enough in it.
Yeah, I agree. A couple too many touches from Guenzati at the top of the box. In that situation when you've got your strikers all the way at the top of the 18, you got nobody to outlet the ball to. May not be the right time to be getting those extra touches.
But it is the Loyal that have been on the front foot. Frankly, for the Indy 11, a couple of whistles that could have gone different ways in terms of contact outside of the 18. Could have prevented or started giving some dangerous restart chances here for the visitors.
Look at Vegas up at the center. So there's a chance that we could see Ertl going one-on-one with Vegas at some point today.
How San Diego plays is how I think Mark Lowry would like to play, but he's not sure he's got the horses to kind of play that way right now. But in talking with Mark for Soccer Saturday yesterday, and he was very impressed by the San Diego squad, even if they have struggled in terms of their recent form. Moshaban, Risi, Corona. Corona spent 9 years playing in Mexico, 3 years in Major League Soccer. Last year was in Sweden. Corona a part of 2 different U.S. Gold Cup winning squads in years gone by. Foul whistle. Now they'll go against Nick Moon, the former Indy 11 man, the native of Wisconsin. Scored 5 goals in 2 seasons with the Indy 11. Go back to 2020 as we're going to wait for the restart here as Indy has a man that's slow to get up, I think.
Yeah, grabbing his shoulder too.
Yeah, it's Budati that's playing through that.
He's such a tough kid. I mean, how hard he went down with that injury and how severe it was, just to be back at this point is incredible.
So Yunus Budati in his first year with the Indy 11 after appearing in 61 of a possible 66 matches with Hartford Athletic over the last 2 years. Tonight's match presented in part by SportsTech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Budati missed the first Indy Hartford match on June 10th. Able to play and got the assist on Lindley's game winner, his second of the season. Brad's point about that shoulder injury, he suffered a shoulder dislocation in the 2nd minute against Lou City on May 27th. Again, because of just a complete lack of numbers around him, he came back and played 3 weeks later against Birmingham Legion. Molina walks the tightrope and finds the escape hatch. Risi. Lindley Long diagonal ball to Douglas Martinez. First-time goal scorer for the Indy 11 last week. Does have 2 assists on the season. Wynn's got 3 goals, all from the spot. And playing against what is in effect his hometown team. Budati, Martinez, and they're going to whistle Martinez for the foul, but he created that contact. And not the other direction.
It's a crime that the only statistic Cam Lindley gets for that ball is a completed pass. The vision to see that and the execution to be able to drive it over the defender and right into the path of Martinez is next level.
Elijah Martin, the player that was tied up with Douglas Martinez. And take a look at the foul called against Martinez. Perez able to keep that in play. Nate Miller, the head coach of San Diego Loyal, cheering on from the sidelines. Landon Donovan, part of the ownership group of this team, was the former head coach of this team. These days takes on more of an executive role for San Diego Loyal. It's a team that has finished above 500 in all of their 3 previous seasons. Last year finished 2nd in their division. They've been out in the playoffs in the quarterfinal round each of their 2 trips in the Western Conference.
One of the things we've seen from Indy all season is every time a ball is played back to the keeper, it's an immediate press. Not happening today. Don't know if it's weather conditions, don't know if it's depth on the bench, or don't know if it's something that they like in Vegas with the ball.
Perez bends it in and just missed.
Wow.
A touch for a goal by Conway. Conway's tied for the team high in goals with 5.
He's a player.
Exquisite service from Perez. Moshaban trying to repeat that. And Quinn will simply buy a little real estate. Tonight's game presented in part by Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Perez, the win around Dambrot. And again, this basically misses by a couple of inches from Conway, cutting in front of Ertl and scoring in uncontested fashion. The Loyal have been awfully impressive so far. And a foul whistle against Indy. But it is the visitors that have dictated the tenor and tempo here in the first 12 minutes. Indy just looks a step off so far in this one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and Corona comes up a bit gimpy. We'll keep our eyes on that.
Yeah, I watched them play Pittsburgh last week. I tell you what, once they get into the attacking third, San Diego is so dangerous. 1 and 2 touches, a lot of interplay, guys making these 3-dimensional runs, very, very difficult.
Yeah, there is no shame at not coming away from Highmark Stadium without a point. That's been an MO for a lot of teams over the years against Bob Lilly's squad. Wenzati lets that one go by. Lindley, Molina takes a tumble. Adams got there in time. Our official has generally let players go back and forth, and now Macaulay King will be shown a yellow as Moon, his former teammate, draws contact and draws the card. That is the 2nd yellow shown in the first 14 minutes against the Indy 11 back line. So Maca King, who knows something about this San Diego squad, having played for the Switchbacks over the last couple of years with Colorado Springs. Was acquired in exchange for Jonas Fjellberg back in the month of May. Mac has been dealing with a bit of a quadriceps injury that saw his time limited.
Love the way Maca plays. I mean, it's just every moment is a statement, and that statement is heard around the league. I mean, players come in and they know they're going to face him, and you start thinking on those 50-50 balls, you see a lot of guys pull up because you know he won't.
Maca, who went through the Leicester Youth Academy before making his way to Young Harris College in upstate Georgia. His 2nd stint with the Indy 11. Also played for Mark with El Paso Locomotive. Indy content to let San Diego play in the back a little bit, and that includes Koke Vegas getting a touch or 2 along the back line. And Ertl with little or no trouble on that one. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. King has to scramble to get that one. The 11 being awfully reactionary here in the opening 15+ minutes of this one.
And you know, if you got a team like San Diego who's coming in here, they're obviously, you know, they're pressing it, they're chasing balls back to Ertl, and you know, this front three shifting over, trying to squeeze the space for Indy. When you got a team that is going to press and spend that kind of energy, sometimes it's just knock it around, possess, let's empty their tank a little bit.
Guenzati, Riley did just enough, and Guenzati was in an offside position anyway. You see Riley, who played his college soccer at the University of the Pacific. We're a product of Sporting Kansas City, too. Seba's hair looking luxurious this evening, by the way. Something Brad or I would know nothing about.
Has lost the ability to comment on hair years ago.
We have to go back to your Rockford Raptor days for that to be the case. The Sports This Match is brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. I think I'm good for one Rockford Raptors reference to you every year on the broadcast. So we can.
I think one a year is probably the most that any of us can stand.
We can check that off of the bingo card for the next round. Deespay. First Deespay sat out a couple of weeks ago due to a red card. Picked that up in the early going against Hartford back on June 10th. First Cuban to play for the Indy 11 is Adrian Deespay. Kind of the first real uncontested spell of possession for the Indy 11 in this match. Took a while for Indy to grow into the match last week against Hartford. Is part of this, Brad, trying to follow a similar game plan on their way to points?
I mean, to be honest, when you're facing a pressing team, there are sometimes I'll say, look, we get through this first 15 minutes. If we can hold the ball, make them run, make them spill a little bit of fuel through that first 15, the game is going to open up for us. So it may be a tactical thing. Hey, let's sit in a little bit. Let's absorb and possess, and then we play.
Budati playing a bit more towards the middle and now ranging forward in the attack of note for the Indy 11. Ball chipped up for Douglas Martinez. Adams with the read, and Elijah Martin. You don't have to know all that many names for San Diego Loyal. A couple of Adams, a couple of Martins that are out there on the field. They've had a lot of players that have been with them since their first season of existence back in 2020. Of course, this is year 10 for the Indy 11. Year 6 in terms of the USL Championship, and Indy early in a playoff position. 7th in the Eastern Conference. Top 8 in both the East and West will make the postseason. He tried to make the postseason for the first time since 2019. Molina, as he tracks it down, he remained onside. Could not get past Perez. Good win by Perez. And then a foul called against Molina. Trying to use a swim move to get around the former indoor soccer star that played collegiately at Loyola Marymount.
Tell you, that was a great defensive stand. You got Riley in a 1v1 against Molina, who's so crafty and so fast, and Perez does the work to get in behind Riley to provide some cover. That allows Riley to be a little bit more adventurous with the way he defends.
Well, this reminder, fans, tune into Soccer Saturday every Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This week on the program, we heard from Mark Lowry, Cam Lindley, Stefano Pino, and more. And Moshaban got a left foot to it, but couldn't get that much on it. But again, San Diego being awfully impressive here so far in this match.
That was an impressive play by Moshaban. Gets in behind Deespay and just kind of shields him off. And then like Willie Mays, say hey over the shoulder, collects that ball on the other side of him and gets a shot.
How about you dropping a Willie Mays reference on the broadcast tonight?
I'm done. I'm about out of here now.
Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hunter, a special guest to be joining us here coming up in just a matter of moments. And nothing has come easy in terms of just exiting outside of the 18 for the Indy 11 tonight. But got to the first wave of pressure. Budati knocks it forward. Martinez, Guenzani could not get there. But that build-up has been where Indy has kind of made their bread and butter at times this year. That's frankly what got Martinez the second goal a week ago.
Yeah, you look at two different ways that Indy's looking to attack right now. It's either that direct ball into the space, looking at Martinez's pace, or very similar to how he scored last week, is trying to find him and slip a ball back past their defender.
Well, it's the second time that we have had a friend from local IBEW 481 join us. We are thrilled to be joined now by Blake Andrews, who joins us here on site. Blake, it's Greg and Brad. Nice to meet you. And what brings you here to the game tonight?
Well, we're fortunate enough to be a sponsor here for the Indy 11. We have the last couple of years, and tonight is one of our nights to be here and talk about the IBEW with you guys.
Well, again, we've had one of these speeches from a few weeks ago, but for those that weren't with us, I'm lucky enough that I've been around the IBEW for many years. But for those that don't know, tell us about the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 481.
That's correct. We are the union electrical industry in the central Indiana area. We cover 16 counties and about the third central part of the state. We have about 3,000 men and women that we represent in the electrical industry, telecommunications as well, as our main bread and butter as far as our membership is concerned.
And of course, we are spending so much more time these days, and rightfully so, talking about various educational paths. College is wonderful. It's not for everybody. The trades are also a wonderful way to go in terms of that educational piece for young and potentially new employees. What's the IBEW doing on that front?
Absolutely. We're out at every high school that we can get into. We're at job fairs, career fairs. We're talking to guidance counselors. We're letting them know that there's another path than just a four-year college. And actually with IBEW, if you go to our apprenticeship, you get a 5-year program that gets you an associate's degree through IB Tech. All that is paid for by us as you're out there on the clock working every day learning the trade.
Incredible. So that for that 5-year apprenticeship, you're actually working while you're getting certified and getting the education.
That's correct. Everything comes, the contractors that we are partnered with through NECA, they have a partnership with us. There's a contract that we follow, and they put money towards our schooling. And so every hour that we work, we take money aside for our apprenticeship and free education. The only thing you have to pay for is books. If you score a 90 or above in your semester, your books are paid for.
Oh, that's worth it, because books are like $10,000 a year right now. When you look at this, so you've got the two kind of paths. You can go down the 4-year college path. Do you have to go electrical engineering if you go that way, or you can go the apprenticeship?
So apprenticeship, we actually have 2 apprenticeships that we do. One is a 3-year program. That is our inside telecommunications program. But then we have the 5-year program that most people talk about with regular electricians like myself, inside wiremen. Once you get done with that and you have that associate's degree, you can take that and move on. If you want to become an engineer, you can do that. We've had a lot of engineers that went to college come back over to us and say, I want to do something different. I've got so much student debt that I want to go to work and pay for. So yeah, and it's a free education for those, and it's a skilled trade that you will learn and have forever. 21 years myself doing it. So
that's awesome. It's like the military. After 20 years, you get lifetime retirement. Right?
I wish that were the case. We can work on that.
So I'm a big fan of Mike Rowe. He's been a big advocate of the trades. Have you seen, as he started publicly speaking about, this alternate path and this more direct path into a career, have you seen a spike in the interest?
Yes, absolutely. There has been the last couple of years. With COVID and the pandemic that happened, it kind of shut things down. We had over 1,500 applications 2 years ago. We had 1,000 last year, and we're on pace to have over 1,000 this year again.
Blake, why the Indy 11? Why is this a good partnership from the IBEW perspective?
So most people know us for the Circle of Lights. If you hear IBEW, you know Circle of Lights, but we do a lot more than that in the community. We sponsor a lot of the different sports teams in here, and that's where we've fortunate to have come across you, Greg, and those things. And so Indy 11 came to us and said, hey, would you like to do this? And absolutely, soccer's a growing thing here in the state here, and hopefully that new stadium goes, we'll have a piece of that bad boy too. So
all right, for more information about the local IBEW 481, where should folks go?
So you can go to IBEW481.org. You can learn about us there. You can go to ETI-Indy to learn about our apprenticeship program. And if somebody wants to know more about our apprenticeship program, they're actually having an open house July 27th from 4:30 to 8:30. You can come walk our school, take a look at it, look at the different labs, and talk with the instructors and our apprenticeship director over there.
And we couldn't have timed that any better. To wrap up the conversation, there's the IBEW billboard behind the field.
It's like it's meant to be there. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Can't thank our friends enough at the local IBEW 481 for their support of Indy 11 over the years. And we'll now let Blake go and enjoy the rest of the game, and Brad and I will quasi-work or whatever it is that we do.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Here in the broadcast booth. Another special guest from our friends at Unbox and Unlittered will be joining us. That's coming up at halftime. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you here on My Indy TV, the Indy 11 television network, and those of you watching on ESPN Plus, or of course, our buddy Tom Cuniff and others watching internationally on YouTube, wherever you might be watching us from. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, wherever you may be watching from across the world. Lindley.
Why not?
Well, that one didn't get through. Colin Martin got in the way.
Well, the problem when you're one of the SportsCenter top 10, because you rip a ball from 35 yards out, nobody is immune to what you can do. So you expect to be pressed a little bit more. So, of course, that one's blocked because San Diego runs 2 players at him.
You're not making SportsCenter on my watch, might be a refrain after what, Cam did a week ago.
Nobody wants to be on that highlight. Nobody wants to be on that poster.
Dambrot onside, but can he track it down in time? No, he will simply run out of real estate. And this match started 40 minutes early. Normally about this time of the match, we would be about 20 minutes in. Maybe 15 minutes in. It's normal we kick a little past 7. Tonight was going to be a 7:30 kickoff due to fireworks. But unfortunately, because of the weather forecast for later tonight, fireworks have been postponed to a later date. A lot of the Brickyard Battalion activities scheduled for tonight have been postponed. I know this was a big part of your social calendar, Brad. The corn dog eating contest will now take place on July 22nd.
Well, I don't have the same social media game that you do. However, I did see that you volunteered, you and I, to be in a corn dog eating contest.
So what I thought we would do, because trying to eat 11 corn dogs for a broadcast could have cataclysmic results for everybody involved. I thought maybe we'd have some sort of sprint, like dose corn dogs might be the way to go. Maybe a timed contest might be the way to go. And now through Mother Nature, I've got 3 more weeks to kind of flush out this idea. Corona the target, but he will not be able to track it down. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Douglas Martinez was the player, by the way, for the Indy 11 that was down for a moment while we were catching up with Blake Andrews of local IBEW 481. And he appears to be just fine. Indy down 2 players tonight due to injury. Jack Blake, a player that all of a sudden a back issue kind of cropped up after the trip to Hartford last week. He could not even make the 18, so Indy was a player short in terms of those that they dressed last week in Hartford. First road victory, by the way, in 7 matches played in that series. Belonged to the Indy 11 last week. Quinn, Martinez.
Great one touch.
Martinez trying to size up his options. Budati makes the overlapping run. Guenzotti was the target, and ball never got to his feet.
Oh, that's tough. It was the right run from Guenzotti right in to try and find the center of the 6, but San Diego had bookends on him.
Now Deespay, and deemed that Deespay got there legally as Conway takes a tumble, and immediately Matthew Corrigan taps his shoulder, said he got you up top. I'm going to let that happen. And that's the 3rd time that in the vicinity of the 18, all outside, but the 3rd time in the area of the box that a San Diego player has gone down and not gotten a whistle.
And as long as you stay consistent, it's okay. As soon as something happens one way or the other that doesn't match that, then teams are going to have an issue.
Moon will go shoulder to shoulder with Martinez. And it will be a throw-in coming for San Diego Loyal.
I love Conway's pace.
Tonight's match presented in part by our friends, the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. Conway, one of 2 San Diego Loyal players with 5 goals on the season. The other is Ronaldo Damas. We could see off the bench tonight for San Diego Loyal.
What a turn.
Advantage being played. Moshaban. Penalty. Well, Indy had been flirting with danger with that contact. That one gets whistled. Reese guilty of the foul. And a spot kick coming for San Diego Loyal. To be Moshaban. Draws the penalty. We'll take a second look.
It's a great ball through.
There's contact there. So Yannick Erdl will attempt to save a penalty. If not, San Diego will take an early 1-goal lead. It's Charlie Adams that will take it. Charlie has been a part of San Diego for all 4 seasons. He spent part of 9 years here in the championship. Not to mention spending time with Brentford, Barnet, and Stevenage in his native England. Recurve Battalion doing their best to serve as a distraction. Adams scores it. 1-0 for San Diego Loyal. So the aggression pays off for San Diego. And Indy will have to chase this one here at home. No doubt in terms of the clinical finish. Erdl's got to make a guess, and guessed wrong in that case.
Yeah, it's you either got to guess or you got to read. You know, there's a couple things you can cue in on and read as a goalkeeper, or you can say, hey, I'm going this way and I'm going all out. He's got to be able to beat me to this side if he goes this way.
Captain's armband is what Charlie Adams is wearing tonight. The lone tally of the match so far, because it's from the spot. I don't think you're going to see a big change in tactics just yet in terms of how this one plays out. Like we have said, it's been San Diego dictating the pace and the tempo at the back. What has to change along the back line for Mark Lowry's team?
Well, you've had it. I mean, you weathered that first 15 minutes and you kind of settled in. You were starting to find some opportunities for Martinez. You were starting to get some balls into both Guenzati and Molina. So, you know, the game was kind of falling into the right place that you wanted. Now, this changes a little bit, but I don't think you change your tactics at this point. I think you just continue to play, see if you can find an opportunity like this.
Here's an opportunity, Boudadi! He's had a couple of assists on the season. That time he called his own number. Yunus Boudadi did not miss an equalizer by very much.
But you can see the pace that Boudadi gets up and down between the 18s, and you got the pace of Martinez. That's double trouble on that side because either one of them can break a line.
Now let's talk a little tactics here as we show you this near miss from Boudadi on the ball from Molina. Playing 5 at the back. Boudadi, when it was 4 at the back, he was flying up the flank anyway. How much more freedom does he have now with an additional man back there?
Well, you know, you look at the kind of personality that some of these guys have. They want to be back. They want to defend as well. So I don't think that changes because that's in his DNA. But there isn't quite the same urgency as when you've got the 4 backs.
So Indy chasing this one. Their luck at home has simply been nowhere than what's been like on the road. Road victories at Detroit, Loudoun, Charleston, and Hartford so far this year. And that's of note. Those are all teams. I'm going to take Charleston out there atop the East after a victory they had last night against Loudoun. But those other 3 wins, those could all be crucial in terms of teams potentially Indy is competing with for a playoff spot. This is the first of 4 consecutive home matches for the Indy 11. San Diego content to knock it around the back for a little bit.
Oh, what a great run.
That's Moon able to bring it in. And then Moon goes flying. Boudadi on the challenge, and Udati will not be shown a card, but simply given a talking to.
Yeah, you watch this run from Nick Moon. This is textbook. So he's about 5 yards off, and sometimes players make that run too early. They get themselves either into an offsides position and dissolve the play, or they have to stop because they're about to be in an offside position. They lose that momentum. He timed it perfectly. He did not break on his run until he saw that the San Diego player was able to deliver the ball. Then he makes his run, and they catch him full stride.
This portion of this match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Adams already a goal. Going to try to set up an assist here. Sends it in. Headed up and over the bar. No additional touch there. Goal kick coming for Yannick Erdl and the Indy 11.
This is a great serve. Looked like San Diego got ahead to it and then went off a shoulder of an Indy player, but we're not going to say this, but that ball in play.
San Diego has been very impressive. They do not look like a team that has been struggling over the last 5 to 6 weeks. Last victory coming against the Miami FC, a team that Indy hasn't seen yet this year. But a team that, frankly, crushed the Indy 11 in terms of San Diego when the two played last summer. The state of California was not very kind to the Indy 11 last year. Of course, this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf too. Riley will let it roll through for a little bit. Right idea, that one just over Conway. Udati will play it back to Yannick Erdl. Here's Colin Martin. Looking back post, Dambrot will not take any chances and gets a thumbs up from Yannick Erdl. Corner kick coming here for San Diego Loyal. All of our corner kicks presented by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
So when Indy's dropping the front line a little bit, pressing the back line up, trying to make it difficult for San Diego to play through, but San Diego still find a pocket. There's a little bit of space between the back line and the midfield that San Diego's keeping a player in, and they're able to play it in them. So Indy's got to step up and be accountable for that space.
San Diego being told, hey, pick up the pace here a little bit. No need to shave a few seconds off the clock here in the first half. Still lots of soccer left to play. We hope from a weather standpoint. Ball sent in. Ricochets off a pair of Indy 11 defenders. Sat there tantalizingly. But no one in orange and green could track it down. Molina has a good hold of a jersey and frankly got away with it. Corona. Dambrot goes flying. Dambrot. And Perez will be shown yellow. So first yellow whistled against San Diego. And Dambrot in a bad way.
That's a heck of a hit.
And I will mention the fact that Josh Frankham is out to check on Robbie Dambrot, because our colleague Jody Ambrosio, that does the Hartford Athletic matches, who is a legend in sports broadcasting from his times at ESPN Radio or serving as a voice of University of Connecticut sports, may have called Josh's name like 9 times in the broadcast last week from Hartford. So that's the first time I've had to call his name on the broadcast tonight. Dambrot took a tumble. Dambrot has been a player since he joined the Indy 11 at the beginning of last August. When he has been healthy, he has been in the lineup. Problem is that health factor. He has missed now a couple of different stretches of the season due to injury. Suffered a foot injury late in preseason training, and then suffered a knee injury in the match against Sacramento Republic back on May 13th.
Well, the kid plays all out.
Yep.
All the time, and while you love seeing it, you know, you put yourself in harm's way on every 50-50 ball. You know, sometimes you're going to come out on the bad end of it.
We've told Robbie's story a bunch over the last couple of years, but his dad, Keith, is the basketball coach at Duquesne University. Uncles and grandfathers both played in the NBA in its early days in the 50s. And happens to be on a first-name basis with LeBron James, as his dad was his high school coach for many years at St. Vincent St. Mary's in Akron. Deespay. Reese. Trying to find Martinez, but Nick Moon had that one sniffed out.
Yeah, that ball, when you try and make that cross-field pass, it's got to be driven. You've just got to be able to eliminate the time that defenders have to recover into that space to pick it off. That one was floated a little bit. Easy for San Diego to pick off.
Of course, this match is brought to us by Sherwin-Williams. Bring color to life with Sherwin-Williams. No sun breaking through the clouds right now. Again, we are hopeful that the storms will hold off until we are done with 90 minutes of soccer this evening. This match moved up 40 minutes from its originally slated start time.
Good find.
There's been a couple of moments for the Indy 11, but for the most part, it is San Diego that has dictated tempo. Colin Martin guilty of the foul against Molina.
A little hesitation for Maurice to let the space open up to find Cam Lindley in the middle of the field.
Martin, a veteran of many seasons in Major League Soccer, but has been with San Diego since their inception in 2020. Macca King. What has to change at half number 2 for Mark Lowry's team?
Well, you liked the way that it was unfolding. I mean, you got Martinez into the box 2 or 3 times. You had Molina in a 1v1 on this side. So it's just got to be a little bit quicker, a little bit cleaner execution in the 18. Or you can have Cam Lindley rip it from 35 yards out.
Here's Dambrot. Able to keep it in play. Couldn't make the turn. That will be a corner. Much last by Perez. Again, our corners brought to us by Wilson, Kehoe, and Winningham. It's Lindley that is heading over. Aiden Quinn heading that direction as well. Okay, Vegas really has seen one ball kind of go by him. Other than that, has not had to do much between the posts. Five in the box for Indy. It's Quinn, Deespay, Martinez, and a foul called against Indy. Dambrot with contact. Riley, the worse for wear after it.
You got to like the thought from both Deespay and Martinez on the ball in the air. You know, you're reaching back for the ball. You don't have a good shooting angle. A lot of players just put that on goal, and it's a wasted opportunity because you just can't get the velocity or the accuracy on it. Both guys headed back across the middle. Give a teammate a chance to come and finish it.
Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. King does his best just to nudge the attacking player out of the way.
Good find.
Budati. Let me flare out a look more wide in this 5-man back line. We've seen him kind of drop back as a 5th defender at times, and get a little more forward in the attack. Molina going to work his way around Perez. We'll glance towards the 4th official and see exactly how much additional time we'll have. Guenzati. Back post from Alina. Perez clears it. It is 3 minutes that we will see added before we are done with business at half number 1.
Well, I love that ball from Dispe into Guenzati's feet.
Guenzati, flag goes up. He had just snuck behind the last line of defense. Just mistimed that run a little bit.
You look at the patience that Indy shows knocking it across the back line, and all you're doing in there is you're getting San Diego to move east and west, just waiting for one seam to open up. Dispe found Guenzati's feet at the top of the box. Just not enough came from it.
Vegas doing a little time wasting here before redistributing. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the Championship, Major League Soccer, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM-FC 157 and the SXM app. And Risi. Conway thought that was going to be a foul against Indy. Instead, it was a foul against him. Lindley's asking for a little more space to be able to operate. Conway, college teammates with Nick Moon at Milwaukee. Conway has worked his way up from Union Omaha in League One. There are several players that are former League One participants on this San Diego Loyal squad. Dispe with approximately 60 seconds left in the half. Budati goes down. Nothing in it, says the referee. Budati trying to soldier on as best he can. He will lumber back into position. Not sure how much want-to there is in San Diego pushing the tempo before we get to halftime.
Good little turnover, came off of the pressure. That'd be one thing I'd expect to see in the second half. A little bit more aggressiveness in that press on those balls that involve Vegas.
Guenzati. Martinez a touch, and then see the knock towards Corona. But the foul was by Martinez on Colin Martin. And again, Vegas will come forward just to waste a little more time for the Loyal. As they are helping the Sands shift through the hourglass already at the end of the first half, which is right now. So a foul committed by Gustavo Risi. Penalty drawn by Tumi Moshabai. Penalty converted by Charlie Adams. It adds up to a San Diego Loyal 1-goal lead here at the break. Your thoughts on the opening 45, Mr. Hodder?
Well, I think it was a tale of three different, can't say halves, right? 3 different thirds, that's what it would be. San Diego came out, just completely controlled that first 15 minutes. I thought Indy settled into that middle 15 okay. And then after the goal, and here as both teams found a little bit of fatigue, I felt they could have gone either way.
Indy trailing this one by 1-0 through 45 minutes. We hope there is 45 more to go as we try to race the Storms that are heading for Central Indiana. Right now, the Storm being provided by the San Diego Loyal. They lead at 1-0. And these two teams' only matchup of the season. Halftime show comes your way next as you're watching on My Indy TV.
Con el 1, 2, 3, que tú vas a ver con el 1, 2, 3, tienes que ver actitud, actitud, actitud. Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo, cuando tú lo escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. We're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. We are back at Carroll Stadium, keeping our fingers crossed that we are beating the weather in Indianapolis tonight with our earlier kick time. Back to the halftime highlights and look around the USL Championship moment. Indy 11 and San Diego Loyal, their only meeting of the season. Back in the broadcast booth, my name is Greg Rakestraw, and as you can tell, this is no longer Brad Hodder that is with me. This would be Rachel Bree. She is from the folks at Unbox, and we are here to tell you why she is joining us at halftime. Rachel, welcome to Indy. How are you this evening?
I'm very well. And yourself?
I'm doing great. And as you can tell, Rachel's accent is not from Central Indiana, Southern Indiana, but London is home for her. So what brings you over to Indianapolis in the States?
Absolutely. So we've got some exciting news. So Unbox are partnering with Indy 11 to launch Unlitter USA app right here at Carroll Stadium tonight at 7:30.
Well, obviously being from London, football, as you would call it, soccer, as we would call it here, tends to reach everybody. Why was Indy 11 the right group, the right event, the right sport to partner with?
Definitely. Well, Unlitter's aim is to create a community-driven platform that supports the youth. So that's about fostering community that is driven by accountability, integrity, and we believe Unlitter, the app, will be able to do that here to engage the sports community and fans.
All right, so there is a way through the Unlittered app that if I'm just kind of being a good community citizen, kind of cleaning up after myself on an Indy 11 game day, I can actually earn some things. Is that right?
Definitely. So Unlitter is an innovative app whereby you download it from the App Store. You can scan litter that turns into treasure. So you simply scan the barcode or take a photo of the litter, and you can earn new coins that you can spend within the eShop. Indy 11 have offered some great prizes that are up for grabs. These range from a signed ball to an exclusive hospitality tent for the 2024 season.
Well, obviously, this is something we could talk about for some time, but kind of the constraints of halftime, only a couple more moments with you. Why is this mission so important to you and the folks at Unbox and Unlittered?
It's super exciting to launch here in the US. We've had great success over Belgium and the UK, and we believe this will be a great partnership. We're super excited that Indy 11 have taken the opportunity to pioneer this opportunity, and we will work together with our combined aim to create cleaner, greener community.
All right, unlitteredusa.com is the website, correct?
That's it, yes.
All right, Rachel, again, I hope the weather holds out for us for the last 45 minutes. Thank you so much for the time this evening. Again, welcome to Indy and welcome to the States.
Thank you very much.
Again, Rachel Breeze with the good folks at Unbox and the Unlittered app, unlitteredusa.com for more information. We'll take this quick time out. We'll come back. Brad Hodder rejoins us. Our look around the USL Championship and more. Halftime between the Indy 11 and San Diego Loyal. More next on My Indy TV and ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Con el 1, 2, 3, que tú vas a ver con el 1, 2, 3, que chévere, actitud, actitud, actitud. Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo, cuando tú lo escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
The radar looks better than those clouds might indicate to the west. We are hopeful we get this one in. The home side hopeful to at least level, if not take the lead. San Diego, a 1-0 lead, and the spot kick from Charlie Adams. That's the difference to the opening 45. Our look around the news and notes in the USL Championship. Pride Night is coming up next Saturday when the Indy 11 take on FC Tulsa. As much as the Indy 11 have a dislike for Lou City, believe me, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds feel the same. Right. Those two teams are playing as we speak, and frankly, Louisville has been the one team that has gotten results at Pittsburgh over the years. Scoreless at the last update there. And how about El Paso and Memphis 901? Again, these are teams that Indy has yet to play this year. They'll play them a combined 3 times coming up. They're the hottest teams in the league right now.
Memphis gets rid of arguably one of the hottest coaches in the league, their starting goalkeeper, and their leading scorer, and they're better.
This is probably the second time in 3 years that most everybody else in the league has really underestimated how good Memphis 901 would be. And again, Memphis is currently in third, but look at that. They have 4 games in hand on Charleston. Charleston played last night and got 3 points. Also last night, Detroit and Tulsa played. Tulsa won, which vaulted them into a playoff spot above Loudoun for the 8th and final playoff position as we are hitting the midway stretch of the season. Here are the matchups that take place across the league this evening, and that first one is one you can watch on national television tonight. It is on ESPN2. Memphis 901, led by Aaron Malloy, against former Indy 11 man Manuel Arteaga, not to mention Juan Guerra and Phoenix Rising. Catch that tonight at 11 o'clock on ESPN2. Stay tuned. Second half action comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Get a look at Elliot Collier. There'll be two former Indy 11 players on the field to start half number 2 for San Diego Loyal. Elliot was here only briefly at the end of the 2018 season. Went on loan from the Chicago Fire. Last year, part of a cup-winning side in San Antonio. Elliot Collier on, replacing the goal scorer for half number 1 in Charlie Adams. All of our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Unfortunately, just not enough time in kind of this compressed halftime. No, we're kind of playing a little bit of beat the clock tonight as well to talk to Mark Lowry. What do you think his outlook is here for half number 2, Brett?
I think you want to press a little bit higher than you did in the first half, and you want that ball moving a little bit quicker. As you're handling this possession here, you just don't want to give San Diego the time to recover from shifting too far to one side.
So Collier comes in up top. And from a formational standpoint, just at first glance, almost from a 4-3-3 to a bit more of a 5-3-2 that San Diego is now aligning in. It looks like they may be trying to protect a 1-goal lead here for the final 40 minutes or so.
It sure looks like they're going to give up a lot of the middle of the pitch and just jam things up in their defensive third to try and eliminate any opportunities for Indy.
Molina is offering for Budati, was just a bit too far in front of Eunice. Eunice looking back post, and he had 3 runners kind of go divergent directions, and not one of them was toward the ball.
You love the way that was developing. Molina attacks the end line, and Budati is making a run to the center of the 18 by himself, and Molina just puts it a little bit too far to his right.
Coque Vegas on your screen, his second year playing in the States. He is from Spain. Bit of an errant opportunity here. Martinez, can he pounce on it? Couldn't keep it at his feet. Quinn couldn't slide it through to Guenzotti. Good follow-up, though, by Risi. But couldn't maintain possession.
And you got to like what you see if you're elevating the press, which they have. It's created a couple of turnovers and a couple opportunities off of it. You just need to be a little cleaner in the execution.
First 5 minutes of this second half presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf, too. They have been the presenting sponsor of Indy 11 soccer since even before day number 1. Collier, the long-distance target, but just getting warmed up. So Elliot goes, you know what? I think I'll just let that one kind of slide on by.
Yeah, that was one of the things we saw and liked about him when he was here in Indy. Is he is a big body, so great target. You find him easily, but he's also got great pace and he's crafty with the ball.
A man from New Zealand. Spent parts of 4 years with the Chicago Fire. Spent part of 2019 on loan to Memphis 901 as well, where he and Cam Lindley were teammates in Memphis that year. Ball did take a touch off a San Diego player. Ambrot restarts quickly. Wenzati trying to carve out space. That ball hit a hand in there somewhere. I wasn't sure whose it was. Apparently, it was Moshaban that was the guilty party.
Well, you look, and while San Diego's dropped two wide guys back to make it a 5 back, they sent them when they had possession. They were up top. So Indy's got to do a really quick and good job when they repossess the ball in getting in transition before they can drop those wing backs back in.
I think attacking is simply in their DNA, even if formationally they look a little bit different here in half number 2. If you're Lindley, where you want to put this ball?
Well, it's interesting to see, because I like kind of Molina out there on the edge. See if you can open things up a little bit, keep another defender out of there. But he's got something in his head.
Quinn looking back post for Vegas, and whatever that was did not come to fruition for the Indy 11.
Yeah, Martinez is so good in the air. I think they were trying to isolate him on the backside and just drop a ball in there that he could go up and get.
Last touch by D. Spay. He had hoped to play it off a Collier. That was not the case. First of 4 consecutive home matches for the Indy 11. 3 of those on Saturday nights. They do have a midweeker coming up on July 12th, and kind of a unique weekend off. It will be the weekend of July 15th. Ambrot keeps it in play. Molina, one of the many in-season acquisitions for the Indy 11. And there's one more coming next week in terms of Stefano Pino. With 13 goals a year ago, foul against the Indy 11. Perez was the player that was fouled. Pino's 13 goals last season, the second most in a single season by an Indy 11 player.
We'll take that for a mid-season pickup.
You want to take a guess as to whom the...
Easy. That's an easy question to answer.
David Zayed from 2016. Very well played by you. Of course, these days, the head coach of the Northern Colorado Hailstorm in League One.
Coach of the month or something last month. We knew him back when.
As the late Tim Hankinson loved to call him El Raton, because the rat would smell the cheese somewhere around the 6.
It was unreal how, you know, he didn't have the pace of the defenders. He was just a finisher. He'd always be in the right spot at the right time.
To use the Rick Carlisle quote, he understood the geometry of the game, even if it applied to a different sport.
And when I was talking to Hank about and how did it develop, they found each other on Facebook. Develop on Facebook.
A lot of relationships started on social media these days.
That is true.
I'm not sure if it's on Twitter anymore, given how Twitter's been acting today, but other social media outlets, yes. Vegas, much like Ayoze, standing on the bench next to Mark Lowry, a veteran of Spanish Segunda Division soccer with some La Liga appearances before making his way to the States. Plenty of space here for Colin Martin. Nick Moon. Your thoughts on Nick in a return performance to Indianapolis, Brad?
I've always loved the way he's played. I thought the first year that he was with us, you know, it's a little bit raw, a little bit undisciplined, but boy, you could see the spark that he brings every time he was on the field. And that second year, I think we got great quality from him, just explosive.
You know, Moon is a guy that has kind of, you know, moved around the pitch wherever he has been. On the roster, this is a forward. Tonight was listed as a right back. It's going to be a foul against Camden Riley. Before we talk further about that foul or about Nick Moon, let's talk about Mom Water, shall we?
Okay.
Refreshing fruit-infused vodka water with 0 carbonation, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink, or simply a day that ends in Y. Founded in Indiana and now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly.
I had heard a rumor.
Yes, sir.
Might have been from you. That there's dad water coming?
No, that was not from me. I enjoyed a couple of mom waters at a round of golf. You know, a couple of mom waters during the round that I played of golf a couple of weeks ago. I'm hoping we get some mom water to Booth at some point in time. Moshaban drew the foul that set up the penalty in the first half. Here's Nick Moon. Moon gives it a hit. Did not get everything he wanted to on it, and Ertl able to make the play.
Great job from Maka. So Budati's got Nick Moon in a 1v1. Moon picks his head up and looks, and Maka just slides in behind and says, you're not coming in this space.
Kyle Adams gets in the way of that one. There's really been kind of only one true long distance ball that's connected for the Indy 11 tonight. Space for Moshaban. Collier charging forward. Moshaban knocks it forward. What a ball to Conway. Beats Yannick Ertl. 2-0 San Diego Loyal. Conway gets his 6th of the season.
That was an unbelievable ball.
Moshaban will get his 3rd assist of the year. And little that Ertl could do about that. Once Conway got the ball where he did, he was rather defenseless, and now the task gets even more arduous for the boys in blue.
A great run and great finish from Conway, but look at 2 players on the same page. That's a difficult execution on the setup, but the execution falls to the wayside if that run doesn't continue. Look at that ball.
Well, in 2 seasons, when these 2 sides have squared off against each other, San Diego has now outscored Indy 7-0. It's not the Indy 11 women versus St. Charles last night, but it is still a staggering statistic. As Solomon Asante will get some instruction from Ioze, so Solomon Asante will be brought on to try to at least get 1 back for the Indy 11. And now the task is to score twice. Possession has been a little more in favor of the Indy 11 here in half number 2, but not exactly a threatening moment has come from it just yet. Let's see if Molina can author one of those.
Yeah, the reason the possession has increased for Indy in the second half was San Diego's just dropped more numbers back. And said, you can keep it in the middle of the field. We're just going to make sure it becomes very difficult for you when you want to enter the attacking third.
Tonight's match brought to us in part by Sports Tech HQ, Indiana. Winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. The San Diego Loyal squad in the midst of 3 consecutive cross-country trips. Played at Pittsburgh last weekend, a 2-1 loss. Play at Hartford. Of course, we'll have a new head coach. They elected to move on from Tab Ramos after the loss to Indy last Saturday. They'll play at the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs on July 14th, and they're off for 16 days, are the Loyal. They are next at home on July 30th.
Good find. Look at that. Maka draws 3 defenders in. Molina pops into the seam.
Molina the target with the ball in errant one from Dambrot. And now Collier.
What a turn.
Working his way through traffic. Flatters into Deespay, and Deespay shown a yellow. Deespay gets the worst of the collision. That is the 3rd yellow shown to an Indy defender in tonight's match. It's going to be Maka King, by the way, whose night will come to an end. Solomon Asante. So this is simply a, hey, we have to chase the game formational move. All the substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Maka King will exit. Solomon Asante will enter. And Deespay with the clattering into Elliot Collier. There's Solomon Asante. Amongst the top 5 in terms of the history of the USL Championship. In terms of assists, we had a match, got 2 of them, in June where 4 and card. And so Indy will play a man down, trailing by 2 goals with 30+ minutes left to go. which means that Reese will sit again next Saturday. It'll be the second match that he will miss in the span of a month. The foul whistled outside of the 18, so no point to the spot. So Reese shown red at this end of the field for a second time in consecutive matches. So Jesus Vasquez will have to come on. And Indy will have to pull something in terms of a different player. The red card shown to Gustavo Reese, and things have gone from bad to worse for the Indy 11.
Yeah, credit to San Diego. Great touch on the front side of Reese to give yourself an opportunity on the backside, and then just great pace to get in front of him and put yourself in position for this.
Well, it's not a spot kick. Obviously, there is a lot you can do from the edge of the 18, which is where San Diego is lining up right now. It looks like San Diego will go with another attacking threat. Looks like Ronaldo Damas is about to come in for San Diego. So with a man up, they can go a little bit more for the jugular here. They went kind of more of a defensive shell to start the half, and now they can go the opposite direction.
Well, we talked about it. They haven't won since May 20th, but for no lack of scoring. I mean, they can score.
And that training ground effort didn't work out too well. So Indy plays a man down for the rest of the match. And that's offside against San Diego. A pair of substitutions are heading towards the fourth official. Representing San Diego Loyal, Blake Bodley also heading the way of our fourth official. The aforementioned Damas heading that direction too. Vasquez has put the training shirt back on. He's got the kit on underneath. He is ready when called, but as of now, Indy will maintain their alignment. Really kind of playing almost 3 at the back. They were playing 5 just a couple of minutes ago.
I think you put Martinez high here in the center, and they're just looking to see, can we get a ball? Can we put a ball over the top that he can chase? So now we drop maybe into a 4-4-1, allow us to keep our shape in the back, in the middle, and then just see if we can find either a ball through over the top that he can get, or maybe in fighting for a ball he draws a foul and you're able to maybe earn something off a restart.
So first we'll get to our substitutions. Again, Blake Bodley will come in. Adrian Perez is done for the night. Evan Conway got the second goal. He is done for the night as well. And you have a player that has scored 6 times this year walking off the field, replaced by one that has scored 5 times this season, Ronaldo Damas. Ronaldo Damas was the MVP of the USL Cup final 2 years ago when Orange County won at the Tampa Bay Rowdies. All of our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Ronaldo scored 14 goals for Orange County in their championship winning season 2 years ago. Blake Bodley knocks that one sideways.
Yeah, and a great decision by Bodley to get in there. He had no cover underneath him. If Martinez is able to settle that ball, it's 1v1 with a lot of green space behind him.
Asante!
Oh, I love it.
First touch. It's a tough ass. Basically, he just entered the match. That was going to be his first touch of the game.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love that thought. Just lift that ball over the top, let a goal scorer find the other end of it, and see what happens.
Asante just 1 goal this season. He's kind of bounced back and forth between the starting lineup and the bench as the veteran from Ghana. His high water mark this year probably came with the U.S. Open Cup victory. Dispay steps in the way of Collier.
Yeah, and I think, he's settled into a couple different roles. When he comes off the bench, he kind of is that spark plug where he, typically, when we got 10 field players, he's out on the right and looking to break things down. And he's got such a quick release on his serve.
And Indy plays with 10 after the red card shown to Gustavo Reese. It's going to be a tough task. Has gotten even taller. Chasing a 2-goal deficit, a player short. And Indy's run of results away from Carroll Stadium continues to be far better than once here. And again, this is one of the better atmospheres in the league now, albeit it's a good crowd tonight because of the forecast, not what we had hoped for, having to bump the match time up by about 40 minutes. But is there anything you put your finger to as to why this team seemingly is playing better away from home than in front of the BYB and these other great fans in Indianapolis?
No, I think, you know, some of it, you take a look at how the games have unfolded here, and there's nothing you can say, hey, consistently, this is how it's breaking down. It's, you know, a PK, an early PK, an early red card. There's some unfortunate stuff that happens that changes the complexion of the game.
Martinez was the target. Some of those Brickyard Battalion members not going anywhere, even with a 2-goal deficit, facing their beloved boys in blue. Asante goes down. That's a penalty.
There we go.
Asante picks the pocket of Kyle Adams, draws the foul, and now Indy has a chance to get one back from the spot. Just caught San Diego napping.
Oh, and I tell you that, you know, you talk about it at all different levels. That 2-1 lead is so dangerous. You've looked just recently, you got a restart on a foul on Aiden Quinn about 30 yards out. Now you draw one from the spot. Indy can keep scratching and clawing. You keep making some noise. San Diego just gave up a lead to Pittsburgh, and that's got to be in the back of their heads.
For a minute, Cam Lindley was ending on the spot. I go, wait a minute, Quinn's 3 for 3 this year. And here comes Aiden Quinn walking the spot again. Grew up in the San Diego area. Dad is the head soccer coach at USD. Looking to make it 4 from the 4 and give Indy a lifeline in this one with 25+ minutes left to play. In his 239th USL Championship appearance, Aiden Quinn is on the board. And so too are the Indy 11. And for the first time this July, it's time to cue the smoke in Indianapolis.
Here we go. Here we go. You keep fighting. You keep fighting.
So Indy 11 pounces on a mistake. They will also make a change, will the Indy 11. So while the smoke billows in the BYB, will have a substitution brought to us by Chief of Indiana. Jesus Vasquez in. Robbie Dambrot will have a seat. I would imagine that was probably a planned move before the game started. Or that Dambrot is just kind of working himself back into match fitness. And so now it will be kind of more of the traditional back 3 for Indy. The formation turns into a bit of a modified 3-4-2, playing a man down for Indy. And Vasquez makes an immediate touch. But again, it is San Diego playing with an advantage. Dispay gets a boot to it, followed by a head to it. Guenzati, knowing that you have to conserve a little bit of energy here.
Right.
Knowing that you're still going to be chasing this game for the next 25 minutes. Now is when you pounce if you're Guenzati. Martinez flying down the flank. Martinez gets the ball sent his way. Vegas just got there in time.
Love the thought. Love the thought. Quick in transition.
But that's where the opportunity is going to come from if you're the Indy 11.
Yeah, there's two. It's either that, you catch San Diego a little bit out of shape, high back line, see if you can drop the ball over the top and chase it down, or you hold possession, you draw a foul here in the attacking third where you're able to do something off of a restart.
Well, all of a sudden now it would be a wonderful point for the Indy 11.
Oh, my goodness.
They can somehow recapture that from being down a man and 2 goals. Tonight's matchup brought to us part by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. And Erdl will quickly sweep that ball to the left side. By the way, I am digging the Brickyard Battalion's take on Timmy Trumpet, by the way. That's really well done. I missed that with Edwin Diaz injured this year with the New York Mets.
This is good. This is good. You look at a little bit of opportunity here. You know, San Diego's a man up, and yet they're giving too much space for Indy to play.
Lindley. Quinn goes down. Advantage is being played. Molina.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Left foot, Molina! Just sprays it wide. And that, from the Indy 11 perspective, is why the advantage was played in that scenario. Although, as you pointed out earlier, this may be the time for Indy. You go to the referee and say, hey, listen, we get a foul in that scenario, give it to us. We're better off in the...
Well, you look at that, and that's a veteran move by Aiden Quinn. He's in the middle. He takes an extra touch in that moment. He draws 3 defenders to him, which means, hey, you're going to have somebody open. He finds Molina just wide.
Bodily knocks it forward. Moshaba couldn't get there in time. Deespay did. It will be a corner kick. Our corner's brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Well, not often does the pace pick up upon a red card, at least for the home team when they go down a man. But that has been the case since that happened for the Indy 11. Corona to the corner flag. Grant Stoneman, by the way, is about to head towards the 4th official. Their substitution might have been made by San Diego. Ball sent in. Deespay got there first. And Colin Martin will go all the way back to Coque Vegas.
What a ball.
Ronaldo Damas cuts it back at the edge of the 18. Collier weaving through traffic. Collier's ball was blocked.
Oh.
Deespay couldn't take a chance. He gives up the corner. And obviously, because Indy is going to try to push numbers forward, you're going to see opportunities like this for San Diego. Survive this for 20 minutes if you're the Indy 11.
Right, great ball cut back to Collier, and what a move to give himself the opportunity to shot.
Collier does have a goal and 2 assists on the season. Look at Grant Stoneman. He will not make the change just yet. You see the former Indy 11 man, the New Zealand native, and Elliot Collier. And it's college soccer at Loyola of Chicago, did Elliot. Now Stoneman being waved on. All of our substitutions brought to his spot. Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Ball sent in. Asante able to track it down. Timmy Moshaba, the player that will exit. He has been vital in both San Diego strikes so far tonight.
Nearly had it. Molina was making a run on the edge at midfield. Quinn looked up and saw him. San Diego just blocked his ability to deliver it.
Deespay wandering a little far from his backline responsibility. I want to thank our friends at the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Martinez, he's onside. Martinez denied.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. Cam Lindley has delivered the ball in the air so many times that the wing back from San Diego had started to pinch out wide, so he drives the ball on the ground between the 2 backs for Martinez. Martinez could have walked that ball in and taken Vegas off the dribble.
And the game has opened up since Indy went a man down. Harrison Robledo about to head towards the 4th official for the Indy 11. Budati, Martinez just didn't start the run in time. But there are, you don't want to talk about pockets of space you're going to open up when you're playing a man down. Pockets of space have opened up defensively from San Diego. Why has that been happening?
There are times that this game is so stinking mental sometimes. You go up 2-0, and sometimes you can just disconnect just a little bit as far as, hey, this game's won. And then you get the red card. Now you're up 2 goals and a man. Very easy to disconnect. And what's really difficult is to reconnect.
Correct. Once you turn it off, it is awfully difficult to turn it back on. And Indy earned a penalty. Solomon Asante drew that. Quinn converted for his team-high 4th goal of the season. So the 3 goals scored tonight, 2 have been from spot kicks. Portion of this match presented by our friends at Community Health Sports Medicine. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Ronaldo Damas weaving his way through traffic. to our friends and community. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Yannick Erdl pounces on that one. And Damas will be shown a yellow card. Immediately, Quinn. Those guys have played a lot against each other in the Western Conference over the years. Immediately offered his hand up to.
Yeah, I like the way. I mean, it's a foul that's unnecessary, but I love the effort. It's just I'm gonna pester and chase every ball up top. Look at him fight for everything. Back up on his feet. Can I get around this side? No. Can I go over the top?
Thomas, another player that plied his craft at League One before making his way to Orange County. There's Harrison Robledo that is in for the Indy 11. Roberto Molina is done for the night. So fresh set of legs in the midfield, the 21-year-old out of Queens, and player on loan to Indy from FC Cincinnati. Again, Martinez able to latch on to it. Has 3 defenders in his area. Budati turns on the Jets. Bodily, the former Pac-12 Player of the Year, plays that one sideways. Finally, in the last 3 years, kind of bouncing back and forth between the Portland Timbers and their 2 team, either the USL Championship or MLS Next Pro.
Yeah, I agree with this. I mean, there was an opportunity to serve a ball in there. You're serving basically not even a 50-50 ball and just hoping. You know, this, keep a little bit of possession. Oh, my goodness.
Erdl sends it too far for Cam Lindley.
Keep a little bit of possession, wait for something to open up, and then exploit it.
Well, that was the idea.
Right.
Didn't work out that way for the Indy 11. Let us also reference the fact that we have now gone far enough where this would be an official match in case rain or storms would get in the way. But we have gone past the 70th minute. Just joining us, this match was moved up some 40 minutes. Going to be weather that is forecasted in the area. Opportunity here. Good tackle that time by Deespay. Kept in play by Indy. Player down behind the play. Indy will play on for now. Asante. Erdl will be a little more apt to even kind of add his name into the mix to try to even up the numbers when possible for the Indy 11. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Damas kept on side, cuts it back, but nobody was with him. Collier was nowhere close.
It's a clever thought. He knows he's drawn all of the defenders in. Oh,
Martinez is onside.
Boy.
Martinez has Guenzati running back post. Martinez waits, allows some defenders to get behind the ball.
Too much.
Then on the turn, couldn't finish.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 San Diego players get back. Got to take that. Got to take it. Got to get to goal.
You and I have this very unique perch here in Indianapolis where we are just a handful of rows off the playing service. And you and I kind of saw that simultaneously as Cam Lindley did. That the defenders had just kind of rotated away from Martinez, and he had all kind of space to work with. No foul given there, but possession maintained by San Diego Loyal.
Yep, all 3 of us saw that ball. Cam Lindley, Greg Rakestraw, and Brad Hodder. Only one of us could have delivered it. Maybe you.
I'm going to presume Cam Lindley. Yeah.
Maybe 2.
The hand-eye coordination thing I got, it's the speed that would be the problem. Moon all the way to the edge of the 18. Knocks it forward for Damas. Damas!
What a save.
Saved by Erdl. Corner kick coming, brought to us by Wilson Kehoe-Winningham. And again, you're simply going to give up those opportunities trying to chase the game a man down. You're doing everything you can if you're the Indy 11 to keep this a 1-goal game.
And, you know, great opportunity from Nick Moon there. You know, just explodes to the top of the box, holds the ball until the defenders collapse on him, and then slips a player in.
See if Corona likes to play this short. Give possession starts to become a bit more valued here by San Diego? The answer is no. Martin. Lindley. And Lindley now, look at this for Indy. 3v1. Quinn, Robledo streaking forward. Robledo cuts it back, plays it across. Quinn lines it up. It's deflected, corner coming.
Oh my goodness. Rake, you couldn't have scripted a counterattack better. Well, you could have scripted just a little bit better.
If you're San Diego and you're playing a man up on a corner, how do you have a scenario where you get beat like that 3-1 in the other direction?
You just gave up a halftime lead to Pittsburgh. You haven't won since May 20th. You were up 2-0 and one man. Everything now is tilting towards Indy. This mental gymnastics that you have to go through, you're trying to save this game. Right now, the confidence is shaking a bit.
It is Lindley that will take this corner, presented by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. 5 in the box. Ball bending in. Martinez heads it down and goes all the way through and doesn't find a soul. Quinn will hustle and keep it in play. Now a chance to reset for Budani. Robledo rotates a bit further back.
What a turn.
Robledo. Guenzati plays it across and nobody's there. Indy asking, was Guenzati tugged down? Referee says no. Again, there's already been a penalty given in both directions tonight. I think it would take a significant event for a third to be given.
This is going to be a massive draw. If Indy can get the equalizer, this is a massive draw.
He's got to score one more and prevent another one for that to be the case. Tonight's match presented in part by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Again, Quinn the takeaway. Lindley knocks it forward. Asante goes down. Penalty. Got it. Asante goes down. Point to the spot. A chance to level. And Mr. Quinn, the white courtesy phone is yours. He'll have a chance for a brace from the spot against his hometown team to level this at 2 goals apiece.
You got to be kidding me, Rake. You got to be kidding me, Rake.
That is a stunning turn of development. Again, I think it's a pretty obvious call.
Yes.
I really haven't seen a fault in either of the calls in terms of penalties tonight. Let's take a look.
100%.
Asante is inside of the 18, and again, Martin was 100%. Late to him. That's pretty obvious. So my goodness, the escape hatch given to the Indy 11. Again, Lindley will set it. And Cam maybe thinks back to his basketball days, like if I hand him the ball, do I get an assist? No, Mr. Point Guard, you don't. This is all from
I think at times you're playing with the keeper. You're trying to get him off center a little bit as far as who's taking it. Right foot, left foot.
If Aiden can convert here, he's played for the Indy 11 for half a season. He'd move into a tie for second in career penalties made in Indy 11 history. It's Quinn. Aiden Quinn gets it again.
This is ridiculous.
The brace. Indy has made up a 2-goal deficit, a man down.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Just enough time left in this match, they can still win it. You're a stat guy. How many times have you seen a 2-goal, one-man lead disappear inside of 10 minutes?
For the Indy 11, never. Never seen anything like this. There have not been many 2-goal comebacks in the history of the Indy 11. I think back to the match that was played before the pandemic in 2020, when Indy got down 2-0 and then won at Memphis 4-2. They pulled some points down 2 goals in the past. But to do it a man down and on a pair of penalties is remarkable.
Legit penalties. And here's something to watch. How tight is San Diego right now? How tight are the passes? How tight are the touches?
And if you're Indy, do you now play this any differently?
No.
Or are you full throttle at this point?
You're all out.
Cam Lindley asked for a handball. Camden Riley played that off of his torso. And Matthew Corrigan signaled that immediately. So we play on it again. Indy plays a man down. So Guenzati kind of plays that striker's island up top. It is now 5 at the back for Indy again. Robledo has kind of drifted back to a wing-back position now. Moon knocks it forward.
Well played, Nick Moon.
Cuts it back for Collier. And this one lifted up and over the bar.
Missed it.
Ronaldo Damas knows, I wouldn't say he missed a sitter, but it was awfully close. He'd like to have that one back from that distance.
He missed the sitter. That was one. He had the defender and Ertl moving in the wrong direction. All he had to do was play it in behind him.
Well, this is a result that will catch people's attention from all the way across the league, because we're having teams from each conference in terms of both these teams are currently in a playoff position. I think if you had told somebody a 2-2 draw heading in, they'd say, that sounds about right. But given the fashion in which it has played out, is rather stunning.
This will resonate across the soccer planet, Rake. How many people do you think tuned out 10 minutes ago?
Our broadcast is pretty good, so I'd say fewer than normal.
7. And when 7 people look at that score line, they're going to go, what?
Which is, of course, just a fraction of the Indy 11 viewing audience. Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Again, for Quinn, it's the second time he has had a brace from the spot this season. That also factored in the victory against Charleston, the Eastern League leaders, back on Friday, June 2nd. So his 5 goals now lead the team. Robledo.
Brilliant. Good, quick little interplay from Robledo and Asante.
Martinez, what a touch. Martinez plays it across.
Please. Now you got to get back.
Kinds of space back post.
What a touch. That was a ridiculous touch.
Asante sprinting back to get in position. Collier now given room to charge forward.
And you got numbers. You got to stop the ball.
Collier's hit wasn't the best. Riley keeps it away from Lindley. Riley playing a bit further forward than he normally would in this alignment. Now a chance for both teams to try to catch their breath for a moment. Here's Colin Martin.
Yeah, you're on tired legs, but you got to find it. You got 5 minutes. You got to find it.
Bodily got there in time. Ertl got a paw to it.
What a ball. What a ball across.
Ball sent in. Diespay got there first. Robledo will work his way out of a tough spot.
Oh, he's so good in tight spaces.
A young man that spent time in both the NYCFC Academy and had a couple of matches at the MLS level last year for FC Cincinnati.
Yep, got to step to it. Got to step to it.
Martin onside, sliding, and Ertl has it covered. Riley was going to the turf, didn't get much on it. Made that a relatively easy play for Yannick Ertl, and Ertl will take a little time out of this one. And now Asante down on the turf. Josh Frankham one's going to be waved on for the Indy 11. And yes, it is a very muggy night, given the rain we have had here the last 3 days. Frankly, the sun was out and heated up the turf before this game during the undrafted games that were taking place for the Indy 11. More about that later this fall. But we've been playing behind cloud cover throughout the course of the night. The fireworks show, unfortunately, after the game has been postponed. I don't think anybody's going to complain about the lack of fireworks during the game that watched this one. Indy was down 2-0 at full strength. Penalty against Gustavo Ricci in the first half. Drawn by Moshaman, converted by Charlie Adams. Beautiful ball by Moshaman to spring Evan Conway, who scored to make it 2-0. And then Gustavo Ricci picked up a red card just outside of the 18. At that point, Indy was down a man and down 2 goals, and they have drawn 2 penalties since then. And frankly, both of them drawn by Solomon Asante.
Right.
Both of them scored by Aiden Quinn, and all of a sudden, Indy is playing with a renewed sense of life. And while they're maybe taking a few time-wasting measures to ensure the point, you get the feeling they're going to push forward, trying to get 2 more points, if at all possible. So Ertl No building from the back right now for the Indy 11. Asante goes down. Martin commits the foul.
No. Come on.
And then Martinez.
They got a great chance here with the dead ball restart.
And the card, I believe, is going to be directed towards Martin and not Martinez. Yes, so the yellow showing the way of the guilty party for San Diego Loyal. Let's thank our friends at McGowan Insurance. McGowan, INS, GRP.com has more information. What an impact Solomon Asante has had in about 35 minutes of action tonight. And you can hear Nate Miller off to our left saying, hey, why is this taking so long? Indy is happy to kind of deliberate the meaning of life before the restart here.
You get a good serve, find the other end of it, and you just create another miracle at the mic.
You're looking for this, their second home win in league play. Bending ball, but foul called against Indy on the push. Martin took a tumble inside of the 18. Well, I would imagine we are looking at a significant amount of time. Given 3 goals, 2 penalties, a red card, numerous substitutions. So this match is going to be far from over. Koke Vegas taking his time on the restart as well. And our fourth official shows 8 minutes left to go in this one.
That's a lot to ask. Indy's got to keep the ball.
A point from Indy would get them to 20 on the season. Give themselves a little cushion between they and 7th and 8th in the East. But a lot of work to be done at the edge of the 18. Couldn't slide it through. Hit from Martin, and
yeah, saw that on SportsCenter.
Just a bit outside. Trying to emulate the Cam Lindley strike from a week ago.
I just saw this.
Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Go check out your Central Indiana Honda dealer today. Brickyard Battalion is at full song, loving what they have seen in terms of the effort and grit, the ingenuity of their team. Down 2 goals and a man to at least try to pull a point and maybe pull off something more of the miraculous variety. My partner referenced a miracle to Mike. That is, for those maybe watching of the San Diego or elsewhere in the USL Championship perspective, that's the league final in the NASL days for the Indy 11. Back in 2016, where they had to score 4 goals, had to win by 3 to claim a spring season championship, and did exactly that. Damas goes down. Quinn, the guilty party. Budati is kind of like the guy that you played Operation on as a kid at this point.
He's a warrior.
There'll be several different things that kind of buzzers go off when you touch him at different access points.
Here's the crazy thing. He's a really nice human being too, and you figure some guys that just play that tough and are that much of a warrior that they'd be an edge to him. Could not be a nicer guy.
But fluent in 4 languages is Yunus. Has both Belgian and Moroccan roots. Spent time at both Creighton and Boston College, did Yunus. Moon goes down, not enough in it. And now let's see if Indy pounces. Vasquez has about the freshest legs in the park for Indy. Indy electing to hold it, and now with Indy kind of in a neutral spot, they will go check on Nick Moon.
Yeah, I think this is you know, whether it's fatigue or what, I think it's a misstep or an overstep where a muscle pulls. It's late in the game. You feel, your mind tells you you've got this, and your body is just exhausted.
And again, Cam and Nick were teammates 3 years ago here in 2020. Nick, like many of these San Diego players, there's a tie between the 1 year of Lansing Ignite in USL League One in 2019. Some of these guys that have played for San Diego in the last 4 years. Nick was one of those guys. Nick, along with Connor Antley, were guys that made the jump from League One to the Indy 11 in 2020. And Martin Rennie had a pretty good eye for talent because both those two guys are still playing in the USL Championship, and you hope that Nick is all right. We always enjoyed our conversations with Nick, and you always knew he would empty the tank on every performance playing for your team.
Yeah, he's second on the team in minutes, and you could see this. He pushed the ball out in front of him and then looked to take that step to explode and just went down as soon as he took that step. So he either felt it was going and was able to catch it in time and this won't be something serious, or he didn't, and it might be a little bit of a longer stretch that he'll be out.
So Morgan Hackworth will be the 5th and final substitution for Nick Moon, and we want to wish him the best. Hopefully, if there's an absence, it's not too awful long. You hear the Hackworth last name, you go, hey, wait a minute. Yep, that would be John's son. Morgan played for Memphis 901 in 2019. All of our substitutions brought to us by Chief Club of Indiana. Morgan has played limited minutes for San Diego this year. He's played just in 5 matches and has played a total of 19 minutes so far. He'll try to help see this one out for San Diego. Morgan's got a younger brother that is playing for St. Louis City 2 in MLS Next Pro, where dad is a big part of the soccer ops team for a team that is, frankly, on a record pace for being an expansion side. And knowing John Hackworth, I'm not surprised because he's really good wherever he goes.
And knowing St. Louis, I mean, that is such a soccer town. You know they're going to get the support.
And let's face it, we saw their 2 team here in the Open Cup last year, and they kind of thumped the Indy 11 that night. So we knew there was some talent in the pipeline. Lindley, Martinez looking to kind of pull back on that one. Ball sent in. Collier trying to get to the end of it. Damas goes down and ball first. It's exactly what the official is pointing at. Ball first. Dees Pay still on the ground, and before Elijah Martin restarts. And Matthew Corrigan, while Damas looked up from the turf, he pointed the ball, saying he got the ball first. Now Dees Pay will be checked on, and Mark Lowry thinks not another injury along the back line. His team has not been able to get healthy at that spot the entirety of the year. Jack Blake, more of a midfield injury. Brian Rubion, a guy that could play all over the park. Part of the reason why that Mark is so high on his skills. And frankly, as I look to the west, you kind of see what we in Southern Indiana would call heat lightning. You just kind of see some flashes in the clouds. No bolts, but just knowing that it's kind of back there and in that direction. We may somewhat be on borrowed time in terms of completing this match.
You do play-by-play on the weather, too.
You know, if I was not a sports guy, I would have been a weather guy. Seriously.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
Oh, with the kind of pipes you got, right?
But you know what?
Something in this.
They got weather guys at Wish TV and weather ladies as well. Ashley Brown, Tara Hastings, Marcus Bailey. Tremendously deep weather staff. You should watch them this evening on the Wish TV local news. It's also seen on My Indy TV.
You know the roster for the Wish weather team as well.
I pretty much know the entire Wish staff. I'm kind of on there on a regular basis.
You've given us stuff like Elliot Collier from Loyola. Do you know the colleges that the roster from the Wish weather team, where they attended?
I don't, but we'll work on that for the post-game show. Let's take a look at Damas. And again, the official was pointing ball first. I'm not sure if Dispay made much in the way of contact in the first place watching that replay. What I do know from the Wish staff is that Kylie Conway, one of the main voices of the Wish TV morning show, she and I go about 5 miles apart. We are both from Harrison County, so I know some members of the Wish team very well.
Something in the water down there, some media gene or something.
Something along those lines. Again, 8 minutes was the allotted time. It will probably inch closer to 10 at this point. Perhaps the best opportunity to get a full 3 points for the Indy 11 have gone by the wayside. However, I think they will gladly accept 1 at this juncture. Dispay is waved back on when he can join the fray. Foul against Asante. Restart immediate for San Diego, but Bodily kind of got snared by the turf monster. Good job to force the issue to keep the ball in play. Lindley is kind of a hit and hope. See if Robledo can trace it down. Stoneman got there first.
Just dump it, kill a couple seconds, allow yourself to recover some defensive shape.
We will glance towards the referee as Asante commits a second foul in as many minutes. And Martin will restart as quickly as possible, knowing that time is of the essence. Bodily slots it through. Corona, good job by Lindley to step in front of that one. Indy electing for possession at this point. Adams stepped in front of Guenzati. You can hear the voice of Mark Lowry saying, you gotta win it.
Yep.
There's only a couple of moments like that left in the match. Stoneman charges forward. Ball sent in.
Oh my.
Erdl.
Goodness.
Swallows it up.
That's ridiculous. Budati knows. That's unbelievable, Erdl.
Erdl has been fantastic all season long. Came into this match 8th in the league in saves, has Yannick.
Look at this play.
And again, Dispay is down. Indy has used all of their substitution windows at this point.
Do you know the level of difficulty on that? A short hop as he's diving, wondering if the forward's going to get a touch on it to stay with it and be able to collect it. Rakestraw level of difficulty, that's got to be like a million on a scale of 1 to 10.
Dispay is going to try to gut it out as best he can and hope that there's maybe a whistle coming after the goal kick as we are approaching 100 minutes. And again, a few more flashes off to the west. Now, trust me, there are lightning detectors here in the building. If there was anything within 8 miles, we would be pulled off the field. But we're seeing it on the skyline. And Erdl will walk this to the byline, let Damas come get him, and try to play keep away as best he can. I want to make sure we give a special effort and a special thank you to those behind the scenes for the Indy 11. The call to move this match up to avoid that storm was made at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. So it set in a series of events that had to happen for that to be the case. And here we are into the triple-digit minutes of this match being played. Maybe one more push forward here for San Diego Loyal. We have now nearly played 11 minutes of added time.
Get there.
Martin knocks it forward, couldn't keep it in play. Across the touchline, throw in coming for the Indy 11. We will keep our post-game show a little more brief than usual to try to beat the potential thunder and lightning in the area. And folks, I also know that those of you that are here for the Independence celebration for the fireworks show, we'll hope to reschedule that later in the season. Guenzati, Asante, Lindley. That's a big-time foul on Damas.
That's a smart foul. Take that card.
As he'll be shown yellow.
Can't have that turnover there.
I think we have passed the point of the dying embers at this juncture of the match.
I think it's Sunday.
Not yet, but close. We've had some matches that have gone to Sunday night. That will not be one of them this evening.
Good read.
Good read by Martinez. And that's it.
There we go. Freaking heroic.
What an effort by the Indy 11. After San Diego had a 2-goal lead and a man advantage, the recent struggles of the Loyal continue. They have now pulled just 4 points from a possible 18 their last 6 times out. They do earn a point for their cross-country trip. But again, they were up a man. They led by 2 with 30 minutes to play. Indy draws 2 penalties, both converted by Aiden Quinn. The points are halved tonight.
I've been in this game my entire life. I have never seen what I just saw tonight. absolutely incredible.
Well, our stat of the game is this. Aiden Quinn has appeared in 16 matches for the Indy 11. He is now tied for second in club history in penalties converted. He has made 5, joining Cleberson from year 1. Only his coach, Ioze, has made more. He made 7. So at this rate, Quinn will have that record by the end of the month.
The mental gymnastics that went through both Vegas in goal and Quinn on the spot. You know, I went this way last time. Do I go this way again? It doesn't matter if I just hit the right ball, I can beat him in any place. Do I go the other way because he's thinking this? Vegas is having that same kind of psychological battle going on.
Our stat of the game brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Aiden Quinn, 5 goals on the season. They have all come from the spot, and the goals that he has scored has given 5 points to the Indy 11 so far this season. San Diego Loyal 2, Indy 11-2. An abbreviated postgame show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 soccer on MyIndy TV, ESPN Plus, and the Indy 11 television network.
Test drive the best ride. Honda, our largest inventory is here. Drive now from $249 a month. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. The best value brand with the best resale value from $249. Search your local Honda dealer today.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name was Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
It's fun to get behind the wheel of the best rides. Honda, in stock now. Save thousands with 0.9% financing. The best value brand with the best resale value. Get 0.9%. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Now, normally, this is where we would begin 30 minutes of post-game coverage, but Mother Nature has other ideas. She allowed us to finish the match broadcast tonight in terms of getting in 112 minutes of soccer, and a whale of a match it was from the Indy 11 perspective. They recover from a 2-goal deficit, being a man down, to pull a point 2-2. However, because of weather that is inbound, our post-game coverage will be much more abbreviated this evening here on MyIndy TV and the Indy 11 television network. So with that, let's get right to the highlights. Brad, as those roll by, what does this point mean for the Indy 11 the rest of the way?
This is incredible because not only does it tell you just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep working, but the belief that you have in yourself and in your teammates right now is at an unbelievable high point.
3 spot kicks tonight, 1 for San Diego, 2 for the Indy 11. I thought all of them were legitimate calls.
I did as well. And the goal from the run of play from San Diego was absolutely brilliant.
Gustavo Risi with the red card, so we will not see him next Saturday. That's his 2nd red card of the season. That's something you got. Again, both were kind of denying goal scoring opportunities, but that's something you can't put yourself in that position.
Right. The first one, 100%. You know, it virtually is a red card that saves a breakaway on Ertl. So you say, okay, tip of the hand of this. This one, just a great touch around him, and he got beat to the ball.
Get you some Kona ice and head for the hills. Weather is inbound. We will do that when we come back, as we'll wrap up this short post-game show. Again, the game itself, wonderful from the Indy 11 perspective. They pull a point. They steal a point tonight. Down 2 goals and down a man. They level it at 2-2. We'll wrap it up from downtown Indy next. Here on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Con el 1, 2, 3, que tú vas a ver con el 1, 2, 3, que chévere, actitud, actitud, actitud. Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo, cuando tú le escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
Well, weather is inbound, so we're about to be outbound in an abbreviated version of our post-game show tonight. But a happy one for the home fans. Again, down 2 goals and down a man. Not normally a scenario where you pull a point. The Indy 11 did this evening. Final tally, Indy 11-2 and San Diego Loyal 2. So Indy 11 maintains their spot in 7th in the Eastern Conference. They are at home for their next 3 matches. Tonight was our first of 5 that we'll have for you in terms of Indy 11 broadcast during the course of the month of May. FC Tulsa again. A team that Indy is likely battling for a playoff spot comes up next Saturday. League-leading Charleston, whom Indy beat 4-0 back on June 2nd. Then it's the always tough Tampa Bay Rowdies on July 22nd. And then about as dastardly of a double-dip road trip as you could have at Pittsburgh, at Lou City. We'll have a Lou City broadcast for you on July 29th as well. We will bid you a fond farewell and early farewell on this Saturday night. For Brad Hunter and our entire Tupelo Honey crew that, again, had to jump through some extra hoops today and tonight to make this broadcast possible. For that, we are always appreciative. Goodbye for now from downtown Indy. Indy pulls a pointing at San Diego. Final score, 2 for Indy 11, 2 for San Diego Loyal. Thanks for watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network. Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Test drive the best ride. Honda, our largest inventory is here. Drive now from $249 a month. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. The best value brand with the best resale value from $249. Search a local Honda dealer today.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
It's fun to get behind the wheel of the best rides. Honda, in stock now. Save thousands with 0.9% financing. The best value brand with the best resale value. Get 0.9%. Search your local Honda dealer today.